Tonight on Joy News Prime, Speaker Alban Bagbin questions the decision of the First Deputy Speaker Joe Osei-Wusu to count himself as a member on the floor in order to gain quorum to overturn his initial ruling, which saw the outright rejection of the 2022 budget. Also, the Ghana Police places a 50,000 cedi bounty on the armed robbers who gruesomely killed 2 policemen in Zwarungu in the Upper East region.
The Director General of Police has given a bounty of 50,000 Ghana cedis to whoever will give us information leading to arrest of these perpetrators, dead or alive.
Also in this bulletin, Adenton municipality in the Greater Accra region emerges as the best performing district in Ghana on the District League Table 2020, with Sene East in the Bono East region emerging as the least performing district.
And how it performs. So that also tells you the implication of interventions.
And in business,
you're going to pay more for water this Christmas as producers of sachet and packaged water announce a 50% increment, blaming it on high production costs and taxes.
Some are putting 6 cedis, 5 cedis, etc. And if things continue to go the way it is going, we would expect that the prices will still go much higher than we are seeing currently.
These and many more coming up in the next 2 hours. Please stay. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. I'm Arba Kumson. Let's start this bulletin from Parliament, where the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, is tonight questioning the decision of the First Deputy Speaker, Joe Osei-Wusu, to count himself as a member on the floor in order to gain quorum to overturn his initial ruling, which saw the outright rejection of the 2022 budget. Mr. Bagbin said although Joe Osei-Wusu was not wrong in his upholding his membership while acting as Speaker of the House, his decision to be counted during the formation of a quorum was problematic. Speaker Alban Bagbin also rendered an unqualified apology to Ghanaians for the misconduct of parliamentarians during his absence. We bring you highlights of his statement.
The provision that deals with the basic components of quorum, which is Article 102, that is the quorum to transact business, are made of 2 basic components. The first is a percentage, 1/3 of all members of parliament. The second is the exception, excepting the one presider. Those are the 2 important ingredients in Article 102. And that lays the foundation for the issue of quorum. The others basically are focused on decision taking. Honorable members, the question of whether or not a quorum exists, either for the conduct of parliamentary business or for taking a vote in Parliament, is therefore a question of fact. The practice in all parliaments since the inception of the 4th Parliament, the 4th Republic, has been to raise the issue of quorum on the floor at the time the business or the vote is being taken. Honorable members, staging a walkout is a legitimate form of protest and is part of our parliamentary norms and practices. Indeed, there have been several walkouts since 1997, and each side of the aisle has used it as a legitimate tool to raise their displeasure with one issue or the other. As the leader of the minority, I employed it on several occasions between 2001 and 2008. What is important for us to note is that The staging of a walkout, however, does not render Parliament incapable of performing its functions. The Speaker's rulings constitute precedents by which subsequent speakers, members, and officers are guided. Such precedents are noted and in the course of time may be formulated as principles or rules of practice. They are an important source of determining how the House conducts its business, unquote. Honorable members, as to whether a vice president can preside over a cabinet which had earlier on taken a decision on a subject matter presided over by the president, and without consulting the president, get the cabinet to rescind the decision earlier taken is for your kind debate as you started. But who am I to say my deputy, the first deputy speaker, the honorable member for Bekwai constituency, Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu, the wise, well, he didn't join our group, the three wise men, he didn't join us. So he's still Joe Wise, not wise man. Who am I to say that he might have indulged in an act of misconduct? Tantamount to insubordination.
So that's those were proceedings on the floor when Speaker Alban Bagbin took the chair today. That had been very much anticipated. Parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson has been monitoring proceedings on the floor. He joins us on the line with more. Parker, walk us through what happened in Parliament, especially the issue of quorum. There's been some disagreement over that matter, but the Speaker spoke to the issue about quorum in the conduct of business and quorum for voting in the chamber. Walk us through that.
Okay, so, Abba, you know, we are all expecting the Speaker to return to prepare the processes. Indeed, he came, and the first thing he sought to do was to render an unqualified apology on behalf of the members of Parliament concerning the acrimonious scenes we witnessed some weeks ago. Then he proceeded to put an interpretation on some of the nagging issues in Parliament, and one of them is about the issue of the quorum. And he himself was quite clear that when there's an official communication from the clerk that the Speaker is not in the country or is not available, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament will now take the Speaker's position. And so if there is anything to go by, the first Deputy Speaker, who assumes the role as a Speaker, cannot count himself as a member of the House. And that is clear. If you look at the standing orders, Order 13.2, it is clear on the duties of the first Deputy Speaker. However, he raised concerns about the procedural challenges which the first Deputy Speaker sought to do, even though he didn't go into details. But it was clear that if you look at a quorum to form business, you need about 1/3 of the House to do that. On decision making, you need 1/2 of the House to do that. And if there is anything about amendment to the Constitution, you need 2/3 of the members of the House to do that. And so if there is anything about quorum, the one presiding at the time of the quorum cannot add himself to form a quorum number in the House. So that decision was clear. And again, he talked about the fact that this country, the members of parliament would have to appreciate or come together, work together to ensure that they improve upon the work of the House. And most importantly is the introduction of the e-levy and some of the concessions being made by the Finance Minister, Kenneth Oratab. And I recall that in the absence of the Speaker, the Minister wrote officially to Parliament with some concessions. Well, the Speaker of Parliament is suggesting to members of the House to recall the Finance Minister back to the House so that he can put before the House those concessions. And those concessions, you recall that he talked about 10 million allocation for feasibility studies for the Keta Defense Project. So if you look at that, there may be some alteration or amendment to the budgetary allocation for the year 2022. And so if that happens, then the MPs at the committee levels would have to now go back to the committee to reconcile the estimate as have been provided by the Finance Minister. That is, if the Finance Minister will be allowed to come to the floor and do the needful as the Speaker has suggested. I have been speaking to the Information Minister, Okudzeto Ablakwa, on this particular matter as to whether or not the Speaker was asking or compelling the Finance Minister to be hauled before the House. In his view, the Speaker only made a suggestion. The Speaker does not rule on any matter. He doesn't take decisions on behalf of Parliament. And so if he has suggested to the House to get the minister back, it is up for consideration. And that obviously will rest on the shoulders of the leadership of the House, i.e. the minority leadership and the majority leadership. And of course, we all saw what happened shortly after the Speaker's pronouncement. None of the leadership, in fact, neither the majority leader nor the minority leader, made a comment or raised concern about the Speaker's communication to the House. So by extension, if they are going to consider the suggestion, then a meeting would have to be scheduled between the two leadership. They will agree when the minister should come before the House, and subsequently will communicate that decision to MP. And so for now, it is not the Finance Minister is not under any obligation to appear before Parliament and do as suggested by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin.
All right, Parker, hold on for me because earlier some members of the minority mounted pressure on the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, to admit the motion filed by its leader seeking to reverse the approval of the 2022 budget. In the absence of the Speaker of the two controversial issues, it played out on the floor of the House. First was the decision of the majority to overturn the Speaker's ruling affirming the rejection of the budget, and also the First Deputy Speaker's decision to throw out the motion filed by the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu. Well, Tamale Central MP, Murtala Mohammed, spoke with you earlier. Let's listen to what he had to say, and we'll come back to you. All right, we don't have that sound now. We're facing some technical hitches. We'll come back to that sound. But Parker is still on the line with me. Parker, let's come back to the issue of quorum because Alban Bagbin also spoke to the issue of the Deputy Speaker being counted for the purposes of quorum. What did he have to say about that?
He said the standing order is quite clear. If you look at the standards of Parliament, if you are presiding, you cannot count yourself as a member of the House because you assume the responsibilities and the privileges of the Speaker. And so if any member of Parliament, be it the First Deputy Speaker, the Second Deputy Speaker, is the one presiding, he cannot engage in debate, he cannot take decisions, he cannot be part of any voting. But if he is absent, if it is maybe perhaps he was presiding over certain, and ask the minister, the first deputy speaker, to preside over the issues. Well, what it means is that, well, at any point that he can come back and take his position, and the first deputy speaker will now revert to his original position, which is the Ablakwa MP. So on that matter, he was clear that the first deputy speaker of Parliament ends. And in fact, he says that in the last 2 weeks, in fact, when he returned, he has taken his time to go through the vote and proceedings of the House, and again, read all the reports of the House. So he has a better understanding and a better appreciation of what happened. And based on that is the reason he gave those pronouncements. So on that matter, he was clear that the first deputy speaker of Parliament ends. But he again admonished the House to ensure that they seek better appreciation of the standing orders. He talked about a few gray areas in the standing orders which must be looked at. That he didn't go into details, but his comment and verdict on that was that the first deputy speaker, when he decided to count himself as a member of the House to form a quorum. And I've been getting some reactions from the minority shortly after the speaker made those pronouncements. The understanding of the minority is that the entire budget has been thrown out, since there's been an admission on the part of the speaker that the finance minister should come back to the House to make some amendments to the budget. The budget, it does not exist in its current form again. So if there's a revision, what it means is that there's a revised budget. So the 2022 budget has been revised and not the original one. So that has been their position. Again, they tell me that the committees will have to go back and look into the issues and the budget estimates again to reconcile some of the things that have happened in the last 24 hours. And in the last 24 hours, we know that about 4 sectors, 4 ministries, the budget estimate of about 4 ministries have been approved. Just a while ago, the local government ministry's budget was on the floor, and I'm told that very soon they'll go into the finance ministry as well. And so it is obvious that Parliament is making progress with the budget estimate. And that is where the NPP or the majority caucus comes in and say they are excited about the Speaker's ruling.
Right.
In fact, they know that what the Speaker did will not give Parliament the boost to continue with its work and ensure that the right thing is being done.
Right, Parker. And speaking of the budget, I mean, let's talk about the e-levy, because that's one issue that people are very much interested in. You've been engaging the Information Minister on this. What did he tell you?
So the fact of the matter is, and according to the Information Minister, the 1.75% charge remains. So, you and I, upon the passage or the approval of the financial bill accompanying the e-levy, would be charged 1.75 per every transaction we make. And we know the threshold that if you do less than 100 Ghana cedis a day, you are not liable to the charge. But if you do more than that, of course, you will pay for the in-service charge that you do.
But Parker, we were led to believe that there were some negotiations to reduce the percentage. This did not happen?
This did not happen according to the Information Minister. The percentage was not necessarily about a reduction in the e-levy. So they will come to about 1.5 or 1%. No. But what they are doing, and this is quite novel according to the Information Minister, what they are doing is that they are now engaging the telcos. And you know that for 100 Ghana transaction you make, the telcos will charge you 1%.
Right.
So the government is engaging the telcos to reduce those charges. And for now, we do understand that they are asking them to drop it to 0.75%.
Right.
So if they reduce the charges, government would maintain the 1.75. So at the end of the day, though you are paying the 1.75, the telcos would now take the hit of reducing their charges and support government in revenue mobilization with a 1.75% e-levy.
All right, many thanks. Parker Wilson, Kwesi Parker Wilson is our parliamentary correspondent with details of what's been happening on the floor of Parliament today in the last few hours as Speaker Alban Bagbin resumed the chair. 2 other stories now, and the Ghana Police Service has placed a 50,000 cedi bounty on the armed robbers who gruesomely killed 2 policemen in Zwarungu in the Upper East region. The officers, Constable Emmanuel Akoa and Constable Amadou Sule, were shot by the armed robbers at Zwarungu in the region on Wednesday night while on patrol duty. Briefing the media after the visit of the IGP to the area, Upper East Regional Police PRO ASP David Fiancotre said the officers were not assigned to the scene of the robbery but may have stumbled on the scene while doing their routine patrols.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon to you all. Last night, where the Upper East Regional Police Command lost 2 of our personnel, in fact our patrol personnel who were on their motorbike patrols, unfortunately met their untimely death at the Zwarungu market area. Since yesterday, we have been working towards arresting the perpetrators. Barely 10 hours after the incident, the Inspector General of Police, in the person of Dr. George Akudampare himself, has paid a visit to the region to get first-hand information about the incident and also to raise the morale of our personnel. And as I speak to you, the Inspector General of Police is in the Regional Police Headquarters here addressing the personnel. Earlier, he visited the crime scene at the Zwarungu Market Square. He also visited the chief and people of Zwarungu at the Chief Palace. He met the community near the crime scene and assured them that we'll do everything possible with the police administration to ensure we get the perpetrators of this heinous crime either dead or alive. And he wished that we get them dead. What it means is that he has charged police personnel in the Upper East region to do everything possible to ensure we arrest the perpetrators of this heinous crime. As I said, the issue happened barely 12 hours ago. Investigation is still ongoing. It's understandable when we hear conflicting reports of this nature. However, the one that we have as a police service in the Upper East region, as at now that we are following up, is that when the patrol team embarked on their duties around 7 o'clock in the evening of yesterday, we got information at our control here that armed robbers had attacked a particular shop in the Zwarungu area, and for that matter they needed police assistance. Meanwhile, these 2 policemen on motorbike patrols had already started their duty, so it's just a coincidence. They arrived at the scene of this where the crime was being committed, and unfortunately the criminals.
Well, Joy News correspondent Albert Sori visited the scene of the robbery and interacted with some residents. An eyewitness, Ambrose Ayamga, gave a chilling account of what he saw of the murder of the officers from his hideout.
I just bought Pepsodent from the store, and so I can do pick me to my house. My house is just here. The time I enter my room, I just heard the shooting. Pop, 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 pop. Even some people just passed through my room, the back, saw that the people ran. So I was just silent in my room. I don't know what is happening, and I don't want to come out because I know it's a gunshot. So I was inside, and somebody called my phone and told me that, where are you? I said, I just left the bucket and I'm in the house. That they say they are killing people in the market. I said, I just left, and the way they are shooting, I can't come out because they are just at my area. So I don't know how to come out. So I was calling somebody to ask, and that, you know, that person to run away. It's this morning that I asked, and she told me that no, the way they were doing, even she can't hold her food. So this is what I do. So when I ask, they say they rob this and then shoot them when they are going to buy their food. So
as a resident here, how do you feel about it?
No, we don't feel well. What we want you people to do is that, or our Ghana to do is, maybe we should have a barrier at this place, because every time, this road, the motors, every time they rob. Sometime I was in my house over there, when I saw Boku, even they are taking cows to Accra. They even rob them just on the spot with a motor. So I was coming out from my house and the robbers told me to go back. So this is the second time that I'm here. So like if a barrier should be at this place, there will be fear. They will know that when they just rob, maybe some people look at them. But there is nothing like that. And the police station is far. The police station, before you go, who will go? Because the time they are doing, everybody is shaking. Who will call?
Well, in the last few minutes, the police administration has issued a statement on the matter. It says it is launching a special anti-robbery operation on this particular matter. So I'll read bits of it. It says that the two deceased police officers were shot when they ran into the three suspected robbers while on a motorbike patrol within the Swarungu township. The preliminary investigation established that the three suspected robbers attacked a provision shop at gunpoint and succeeded in robbing the victim of an amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis. The two police officers, while on their routine patrols, unexpectedly appeared at the robbery scene and were fired at by the three suspected robbers who were attempting to bolt. And we've heard all those details from eyewitnesses as well as the police PRO. But the statement also goes on to say that the families of the two deceased police officers have been informed of the said incident and will be offered psychological and trauma care. We are assuring the families of the deceased and the general public that we are determined to get these suspected robbers arrested to face justice for their callous act. Also, a special anti-robbery task force is being deployed to assist the Upper East Regional Police Command in combating robbery and other violent crimes in the region to safeguard lives and property. And the statement is signed by Director General Public Affairs, ACP Kwesi Fori. You're still watching Joy News Prime with me, Arba Kumsing. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with business and sports.
And it's now time for business with me, Charles Aite. You're going to pay more for water this Christmas. That's because the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers have announced a 50% increment in the prices of their products. The president of the association, Magnus Nunu, disclosed this on Marketplace, saying that a 25% tax slapped on water producers could certainly get things worse than it is at this current moment by 2022. Take a listen to him.
Some are putting 6 cedis, 5 cedis, etc. And if things continue to go the way it is going, we would expect that the prices will still go much higher than we are seeing currently.
But what is driving the price adjustment? What exactly is going on?
Anybody would really put a deterring price on the essential commodity like water. There is a fixed levy of 23.5%. So what does it mean? It means that if you sold, a producer, if you sold 1 million Ghana cedis worth of water, there's a fixed comprising 17.5% excise tax and 6% fixed levy that is on bottled water. I don't know for a reason. What is the reasoning behind it? What is the rationale behind it? But this water which is very, very essential. Compare that to beer. So if you are producing beer and your local stuff in the beer you are producing is beyond 50%, according to the Act, you pay 10%. But water which is very, very essential. Me and you, as we drink, we are paying 75% excise tax. I don't know what is excisable about bottled water. Water is so essential, and that is one of the things. So can you imagine government coming to say water is so essential? Let me take off the taxes on it. That means that the price of water will be 23% lesser than what is being sold on the market, and that is what must be addressed.
The Ministry of Railway Development has inaugurated its advisory board with the mandate of ensuring that railway transport becomes the way to go in moving goods across the country. At a short ceremony to swear in the 12-member board of the ministry, the Deputy Minister of Railway Development, Okudzeto Ablakwa, expressed confidence this would make goods and services more accessible throughout railway transport. We have more in this report. The Ministry of Railway Development was created in order to give some attention to rail transport in the country, a situation many believe will cut down on the cost of transport for goods and services across the regions in Ghana. During the short ceremony to swear in the advisory board for the ministry, the Deputy Minister for Railways Development, Okudzeto Ablakwa, charged the board to support initiatives by the ministry to make the agenda successful.
It's about how freely each and every one of us will be able to move services and goods across the country in the most fastest way. And that can be done only through railway transport. I'm not saying the transport sector, i.e. the road sector, is not doing a lot, but it has its own limitation in terms of transporting bulky goods from one end to the other, and is also very, very expensive. And when I say that, and I relate that to agriculture sector, if you have a lot of goods, and we know some of the even farmers in the hinterlands, sometimes even transporting their goods to Accra becomes a problem, and they normally end up selling their goods at giveaway prices. But with railways coming into place as a means of transport, it will help a lot of Ghanaians to achieve their aim.
He has also been highlighting some of the plans by the ministry to get the whole country connected by rail.
Such that we will be able to do a lot to revamp the sector. So we are here as a ministry, and we started the development of the sector. Currently, we are on the Western Line from Sekandi Takrade through Takwa Dunkwa to Kumasi, and we also about starting the Accra Tema through Koforidua, through Busoso, and then to the Buankra Inam Port to Kumasi.
The advisory board is to be chaired by the Minister for Railway Development, John Peter Amel. Now, government will be rolling out an aggressive agenda in 2022, which will make funds available for commercial banks to be able to lend cheaper loans to small and medium enterprises and corporations as well. This will be anchored on the quest to ensure that many Ghanaian businesses benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. At a consultative forum organized by the National Coordination Office of the African Continental Free Trade Area with financial institutions, the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kumar, said plans regarding the Ghana Cares Obatampa program will take care of challenges faced by SMEs in accessing funds from commercial banks.
Government in its trade facilitation and manufacturing advancement drive has successfully liaised with the banking industry, leading to a collective resolution on portfolio shift in favor of SMEs. This has culminated into a decision by banks to increase lending to qualifying SMEs by 2.5 billion to 5 billion Ghana cedis over the next 3 years, thereby increasing industry SME portfolio from approximately 7.4 billion cedis to 12.3 billion cedis. In alignment with government's overall vision and medium-term priorities, accelerated agricultural modernization is a major intervention under the Ghana Cares program, with objective to build existing programs such as planting for food and jobs, rearing for food and jobs, by supporting commercial farming and agro-processing for value addition to ensure rapid competitive food import substitution. In addition, under this same blueprint for economic recovery post-COVID-19, government has implemented the Ghana Cares Guarantee Scheme in 2021 as part of effort to cushion businesses that have been hard hit by COVID-19 by providing guarantees to encourage banks to lend or to restructure loans for large businesses. 100 or more employee businesses qualify for this facility. And the scheme complements the Coronavirus Alleviation Program Business Support Scheme, known as the CAPAS, which was launched by government in 2020 to support MSMEs.
And that'll be it for business. We have sports coming up. Do stay with us.
The sports segment here on the Joy News Prime with me, Ore Kuampofo. The local organizing committee of the 2023 African Games has unveiled the event's logo, mascot and website. The logo is christened Akwele, Ghana name for an older female twin, while the mascot is referred to as Akoko, a name for the younger female twin. The website, which is the last born, is named Teria. The triplets were unveiled by the Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf in a ceremony in Accra on Thursday.
The outdooring of the 13th African Games triplet, as we have chose to call them, marks an important milestone in the history of sports in Ghana, as it is heralded the organization of the African Games for the first time in Ghana. The ceremony taking place today is a clear message to the entire world that Ghana is ready, willing, and capable of hosting and organizing a benchmarking event which will leave a lasting legacy not only in Ghana, but for the entire African continent. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the wisdom behind the mascot is that of the eagle symbolizes courage, strength, focus, and immortality. The eagle flies higher than any bird in the world. The height of success that those with eagle mentality can achieve is amazing. Generally, those with eagle mentality are strong, brave, creative, insightful, and visionary. We have taken the posture of the eagle, and success is our only option.
President of the Ghana Football Association, Okudzeto Ablakwa, has rejected suggestions that his administration does not want Asante Kotoko to win this season's Ghana Premier League after the club openly supported the bid of former Football Association Vice President George Afriyie during the October 2019 Ghana Football Association elections. Ket denied these claims during an interaction with a section of the Kumasi sports media. Love FM's Delali Atiase was there and put together this report.
A section of Kotoko supporters also accused Okudzeto Ablakwa of influencing matches in favor of Accra Folk last season as Kotoko lost out on the chance of winning the Ghana Premier League. However, the FA president, who is a known Phobian, having occupied the position of Communications and Marketing Director of House of Folk between 2006 and 2007, has dismissed such reports, saying neither he nor anyone from his team is against the Porcupine Warriors.
I feel very sad when people discuss this subject matter, because people who are deeply involved in Kotoko on personal lines know what I have done for this club before. When I was not the FA president, when I became the FA president through your own support, Kotoko was the first club I visited. Kotoko is a powerhouse in Ghanaian football. And any FA president who would want to forget this will never have a successful reign.
The FA boss emphasized that his administration will not be biased towards any Ghanaian football club, let alone Asante Kotoko, who have a rich football history in the country.
There are 16, 17, 18, 19 other Premier League clubs. There are other 48 Division 1 clubs. There are 20 women Premier League clubs. But Asante Kotoko comes with a rich history, owned by the big king. Nobody can show disrespect to a brand like this. The FA has been very supportive of Kotoko in their African Cup campaign and beyond. So, the Football Association or my good self do not hate and cannot hate any football club, let alone Asante Kotoko.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here. I'll be back later with the second segment.
You're welcome back, and it's time for entertainment. And the girl with the most is in the studio with me, Becky.
Rabzo. Do people know that they call you Rabzo?
We've given it all away now.
Why do they call you Rabzo though?
I'll tell you the secret later. See me in chambers.
Okay. But Rabzo, this evening, let's talk about the BIM concert. Let's talk about BIM concerts,
Right.
Stone Boys BIM concerts. It's happening on the 21st. So ahead of the event, he held a medical screening at Ashaman this morning.
Okay.
And we have highlights from there.
So that's a very, very laudable initiative.
Yeah,
by
he
Stone
does
Boy.
that obviously in collaboration with his wife, who happens to be a doctor, and so that's ahead of. But you know that Beanie Man has confirmed that he's attending the program, and he will be performing live
at the
in
BIM
Ghana.
concert.
I tell you,
That is a lovely song. It's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, it is.
It is. It is.
What else do you have on your playlist? Perhaps?
Peru. Para. Peru, para.
Why you want me?
I'm in San Francisco jamming.
I just flew in from Miami.
And you know that song is by a Nigerian artist.
Yeah.
And he is teaming up with Ed Sheeran for a remix of the song. That's how global the song has made it.
That's how come it made it onto your playlist.
Exactly.
But perhaps let's check out what songs made it to some of your favorite personalities playlist.
Say no, and no fire ni nipa biti say no more. When you're ready, aye, Sadia, oh, ye, be aye. Many mamma, and Gako be some massive. Never baby, I be free, baby, I suppose free near to you. A radia tomorrow, qua, aye, ain't Canadian, and ne. I mean, yes, sir. Yes, one thing. Nasedru efebra na barimpo omre nyina si nasedru sutobrenso na ye from na barimpo.
What are you listening to? Gospel music?
I listen to a lot of gothic, a lot of classical. Yeah, I mean, my favorite artist would be Enya, and then, the likes.
My favorite musician is, of late is Mama Esther Nyamiche.
Okay.
And now it's Diana Hamilton.
Oh. Which of her songs?
Adum nyame adum tina metiasi eyena dum tina mi wo.
I like a lot of hip life. I like a bit of high life as well. And then I like the Afro beats that the Nigerian boys are doing between Amaka and Dumebi and all of those ones. And then there's this one by Two-Face where he says the girl is deceiving him on Instagram. Anytime I call you, you say you dey Ipaja. Anytime I call you, say you dey my area. I say no wahala. No, that's Amaka as well. Yes. And then I think currently what I'm listening to is Aquabua and Floating Stone. Blow My Mind. Where's my phone? If I can find my playlist for you.
Okay.
So it is currently what's on my playlists. Yeah.
And you sing that where?
Yeah, that's my current number one. It started to blow my mind. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, so who's blowing your mind?
I listen to reggae music a lot, yeah.
Do you have anyone that you can sing out loud? Like
Oh.
Off your head?
Yeah, a lot, especially from Joseph Hill culture.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot.
Just one song.
A slice of Mount Zion is for I. A slice of Mount Zion is for I. I pray to Jah honestly, to please let me live honestly. Love my brother, just all I need. I need no riches but harmony. A slice of Mount Zion is for I.
Hi, Excellency, how you doing?
I'm fine.
I understand that your favorite song is Kakai by Shatawan. Is it true?
It's one of my favorite songs,
Okay.
yes.
Hi, Shatawale, I come like a...
So that's the Vice President's favorite song. Wow, it's on his playlist.
I tell you.
Kakai, but it is a danceable tune, yeah.
Raps, ask me what's on my playlist.
What's on your playlist?
I listen to a lot of music. I feel like you're interviewing me.
Becky, what's on your playlist?
Wasa Fonti.
We all know that that is not on a playlist.
That's on my. That's what I listen to gospel music, and that's from Apostle Oko Hackman.
You also listen to Beyonce. I hear you listen to Beyonce.
I listen to Elder Kwesi Miracle
and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, Mistletoe. Yeah, I listen to all of them. Praise the Lord, everybody.
All right, thank you.
I'm leaving you.
Thank you, Becky. I mean, you're such a...
I love you too.
I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words.
It's okay. Before I say anything else, that's all for showbiz, please.
Thank you very much. That's showbiz. You're welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now, tricycle and motorcycle accidents have resulted in more deaths than any other motor accident in the Volta region. According to the Volta Regional Motor Traffic and Transport Unit, 253 accident cases were recorded involving tricycles and motorbikes, resulting in 57 deaths between 1st January 2021 and 30th September 2021. This development informs stakeholders to engage commercial operators to build their capacity to ensure sanity on the roads and reduce needless deaths.
The Volta Regional Motor Traffic and Transport Unit recorded 253 tricycle and motorbike accidents with 57 deaths between 1st January 2021 and 30th September 2021. Commercial vehicle accident deaths recorded were 56, while private vehicles recorded 18 within the same period. Negligence, untrained riders, minors engaging in riding, and disregard to traffic regulations were some factors identified to have contributed to crashes involving tricycles and motorcycles. Speaking at an engagement with a section of the riders, the Volta Regional MTTU Commander, Chief Superintendent Stephen Delaporte, expressed disgust at the disturbing development. He detailed that, though operating commercial motorcycle and tricycle is illegal, the police was lenient and allowed the riders to operate, since their livelihoods depend on it. He therefore cautioned them to abide by the road traffic regulations to ensure sanity on the roads to reduce road crashes.
Whilst some people are observing traffic lights, if it is red, they know that it is safe for them to cross. That is the time people wanted to go quick to beat the traffic. And then accidents. Respect of road traffic regulations and the side posts. Another say U-turn. Traffic light and the traffic light transport people are doing. Some of you are doing U-turn over there. Use of reflective jacket and helmets. People are not using it.
The Volta Regional Manager of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Samuel Lodonu, indicated that his outfit is ready to collaborate and ensure the riders acquire the needed skills and knowledge.
To make matters short, we are ready to assist you. It's obvious you are so ignorant about every education on the road and the road signs. I drive on the road too. There's a special place around the barracks where you are moving from the housing down like this. All the riders overtake through the right. We just want to assist you so that we can at least minimize the road carnage.
The Volta Regional Director of the Road Safety Authority, Engineer Kwesi Yirenchi, advised the riders to endeavor to acquire formal training before engaging in business.
It looks as if we love death or dead than living. If you see the way we do things, I hope that going forward, we shall change our ways. And we can only change our ways when we go for formal training. That is the only way we can change our ways.
Yes, the manual riding, it is a major concern. But it's like some of the manual riding, they ride their own parent motor. So it's difficult for us to control it. But since the authority also have noticed this, we appeal for the authority to do this work to bring sanity on the road.
Fred Kwame Asari.
And we stay on accidents because 5 persons have been confirmed dead in an accident at Enyinase along the Accra-Kumasi Highway Thursday morning. The deceased include 3 males and 2 females. Several other people sustained severe injuries. They are receiving treatment at the Osino and Chebi Government Hospital. Chebi Divisional Police MTTD Commander DSP Henry Ajiman, who confirmed the incident to Joy News, said the police have begun looking into the case. He advised motorists to be extra careful as we approach the Christmas season when accidents are rampant. Now, a man suspected of murdering his girlfriend at Pakoso in Kumasi has been put before an Asokore Mampong district court. Nana Bonsu was charged with murder and remanded into police custody to reappear on the 11th of January. His plea was not taken. The prosecution, led by Chief Inspector Samuel Mensah, prayed the court to remand him for his own safety. Nana Bonsu was arrested by 2 carpenters working close to his house when they allegedly spotted him smashing the head of a young lady with bricks. His clothes were soaked with blood. The woman, identified as Samira Farouk, 27, a resident of Asawase and mother of 2, was found with several stab wounds. Erastus Asari Donko has been on this beat. He joins me via Zoom for more on this. Erastus, tell us what happened in court.
Well, so the suspect, Nana Bonsu, was arraigned before the Asokore Mampong District Court today. He came in a t-shirt and a black trousers, handcuffed, and he looked, I must say, sober than before, lowering his head throughout the proceedings. Now, the prosecutor indicated to the court that they needed some time to do more investigations and that in his own safety, for his own safety, he must be remanded into police custody whilst investigations continue. And the court agreed with the prosecutor and granted his wish. He has been remanded to reappear on the 11th of January 2022 for the case to continue. His plea was not taken, and he has been slapped with a charge of murder.
All right, many thanks for those details. Erastus Asari Donko coming through with details from the court earlier today. Now, the Adenton municipality in the Greater Accra region has emerged as the best performing district in Ghana on the Ghana District League Table 2020. The least performing district was Sene East in the Bono East region. The rankings were based on the performance of the districts in areas of health, education, ICT use, governance, and water and sanitation. These were contained in the document launched today. Hannah Odami was there for Joy News.
Districts were ranked by the implementation of their annual action plans. Some of them had followed through with their plans, whilst data was inexistent in some of the districts. Governance experts, therefore, want authorities in the various districts to ensure they execute the developmental goals they have set for the benefit of the people.
Just look at the ranking and your score. You could compare yourself to other districts in Ghana. And therefore, in making your budget, you actually know the gap that this is the area that I'm not doing well. So in preparing my budget, I should concentrate on this area.
One of the indicators used, education, was measured by the transition and completion rates of students. The Gan West Municipal ranked first in its sector, with Ayawaso North ranking the least performing municipal in the same field. The Shai Osudoku district in the Greater Accra region came tops in the health sector with a 77.44% score, with Ablakwa West Municipal scoring the least mark of 3.98%. Access to water and improved sanitation was the third indicator. Here, Adenta Municipal ranked number 1, with the Tiripoli district picking the last position. ICT use and governance were also graded for the 260 districts studied. Research fellow at CSPC of the University of Ghana, Dr. Okudzeto Ablakwa, revealed lots of developmental gaps were identified in terms of access to services and distribution of resources. He, however, believes this can be addressed if resources are equally shared.
For given sectors, some districts that are unexpected, they perform well, and others did not perform well. So, for example, in the water and sanitation, we know the background of Adenta and how it performs. So that also tells you the implication of interventions.
Dr. Nana Ato Arthur of the Office of the Head of Local Government Services wants citizens to use details of the document to hold their officials accountable.
If today I'm going to argue that there's lack of infrastructure in a particular region or particular district, I don't need to go far. I just pick this document. And if I'm going to see Ms. Dufay, have I pronounced it right? Yeah. She has a copy of the document. So she wants to test whether the person coming to see him or her understand the issues that the person is coming with. So if I go and I talk nonsense, it means that I've not even read the document. This document is very good for all of us. Questions that we should be able to ask our leaders. Just take a copy of this document and it's there.
For Joy News, I am Hannah Odami.
Now we're about 9 days to Christmas, and during Christmas, hampers are given as gifts to loved ones and the needy. These hampers usually contain small, non-perishable food items, particularly seasonal favorites such as chocolate, biscuits, rice, and cooking oil. But this year, there's a new introduction to the hamper business in Kumasi, the water hamper. There's more in this report.
Mame Amateria sells hampers at Edum in Kumasi. Her customers ask for water when they come to buy. With such demand, she decided to make water a part of her special hamper packages this Christmas.
Some of my customers demand we add water to our packages.
On the
third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
The price ranges from 20 cedis to 80 cedis depending on the size. Mami Ama says the water hamper is here to stay.
And so now different. On the beer package, you know. The Awudi Begu basket in my rapono.
The price vary according to the size of the hampers.
Be a 25, be a 15.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
Would you be happy to receive a hamper full of water as a gift? Well, here are some responses from the streets of Kumasi.
Mr. Benjidi, and two Niska, Namitim baby, and Fellow and Rapuka family.
I will reject anyone who gives me a hamper full of water.
Yeah, I will, because there's a saying that half a look is better than none. So, as I enforce it, the word don't say no, so why not? I will accept it. Because it's a gift. So every gift is a gift. It doesn't matter the amount of the gift. So I accept it.
We need to be a soldier. Now the baby,
Why would you give water as Christmas gift?
Now the back when you are messing return your mom. The OBS expertise Hamper, the new
Hamper usually contain rice, oil, and others, but it doesn't make sense when you package water as a gift.
Making sense,
sister. I feel so you can say I'm on photo a cocone money and
while others are buying chicken and rice as gifts, why would someone give them water?
Baby,
on the ninth day of Christmas, my true love said to me,
remember, gifts are given freely. And as the popular Akan adage goes, Mia Ewa Odonsem Na Odema. Reporting for Joy News, Bilkis Mohammed.
So will you receive a water hamper? Well, I mean, it's a gift. So what can you do? You're still listening to Joy News Prime with me, Araba Kumsi. We're taking a break. The second part of business is up next.
It's now time for business. I'm Charles Ayete. Joy Business has been awarded Business News Brand promoting local businesses for the year 2020. The multimedia group brand was part of 50 industry players, both individuals and organizations, awarded on the night. Organizers of the awards say winners were selected for their impact on business success, particularly during the height of COVID-19. Prince Apia was there in our report.
The Semba Africa Business Excellence Awards was put together to honor businesses, individuals, startups and SMEs that have contributed significantly through the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. About 50 of such businesses were awarded from 10 out of the 16 regions of Ghana. Organizers, Semba Graduate Institute, say these acknowledgements were important. Stephen Fosu is the CEO.
And it would be nice if you award somebody and after 1 year the business is no more or the business has not been able to grow. That is why we've instituted that from next year, every awardee is going to get a free training every 3 months. If you have, let's say, 50, 70, 100 employers, you can pick them so that we train them. The idea is for them to get ideas and strategies to help your business to grow. That is one. And two, you go on an investment tour to Turkey and other countries, expose them to a pool of investors so that they could also come to Ghana and invest in such businesses to expand our business environment for the growth of the economy. We believe that it shouldn't be just a award, it should be an ecosystem whereby we will support each other for the growth of the African continent, not Ghana alone.
The Joy Business brand won the Business News brand promoting local business category for the year 2020. Head of Joy Business, Odilia Ntiamwa, had this to say.
Joy Business is not just for the English platforms, it's also for the mass market and the Akan platforms. And you know that the Akan platforms have Adum Jedi, and these are people that we really want to reach with the business brand. And so to receive an award within this category or this group of people, it just goes to show that we as Joy Business are really doing well, contributing our quota to the business community. We actually want to be able to reach every single business person within the mass market bracket with different business solutions, and in 2022 it's one of the big things that we plan to do.
Other awardees included the Chief of Tepa Traditional Area, Oheneyere Gifty Auntie, was also awarded for outstanding leadership in the electronic category.
We won the Best Feed Manufacturing Company for the year. It's really important because for us at Agricare, it goes a long way to show that at least you're doing something right.
We are Achnet Company Limited. This award is going to motivate us. We started not quite long, but then we've been recognized as a Discovery Food Processing Company of the Year. It means that we have to work hard.
Yeah, we need best interior designs and deco. Now, it will be Biaswasi. Say now, so I'm a Pistodia. We do this level.
It's such an amazing and a heartfelt to see customers patronizing your products. Tasty Crane has been in the system for the past 6 years, and we feel great to have this award from Simba.
Prince Apia reporting.
Now, government has reiterated its commitment to support the beverage industry through appropriate policies. According to a Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Michael Otri-Befi, government is implementing initiatives to cushion small and medium enterprises as part of the industrialization agenda. However, these benefits will only apply to companies that sign up under government flagship programs, including the One District, One Factory. He spoke at the launch of the year's Ghana Beverage Awards.
Ghana's commercial beverage industry has become increasingly competitive in recent years, and several small producers have entered the market, with growth driven by urbanization, increased brand awareness, and a growing middle class. The industry has been earmarked for expansion under the government's One District, One Factory industrial transformation program. A Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Michael Otri-Befi, has echoed government support to the industry provided they sign up under the flagship programs.
Those in the 1D1F industrial space have certain incentives like 5 years tax holiday. But if you are a 1D1F company, you are exempted from the payment of corporate taxes for 5 years. You are also exempted from the payment of import taxes. Those who also seek loans from our participating financial institution we call PFIs, government also subsidizes the interest, 10% of the interest for you, so that at least you'll be able to breathe and work well.
Global Alliance Media, together with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, launched this year's Ghana Beverage Awards. Speaking on the sidelines, Deputy Minister for Tourism, Mark Okwekumante, emphasized the importance of the beverage industry to the tourism sector.
The tourism industry cannot survive without the beverage industry or the beverage fraternity. It is so because tourists, whether it's domestic or international, would be at a place. You want to eat, and when you eat, you drink either water, some soft drink, or alcoholic beverage. And so these are some of the variables in the value chain of selling tourism. And so we cannot behave like the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture is not recognizing the beverage industry, because they play a very important role.
This year's event is themed Inspiring Excellence in Ghana's Beverage Industry.
Now, the Institute of Energy Security is projecting between 3 and 5% reduction in price of fuel at the pumps, despite the marginal depreciation of the cedi to the dollar. Already, some oil marketing companies, including a market leader, Total, has cut a price by about 2.2%. The IAS is attributing the fall in petroleum prices at the pumps to a decrease in price of Brent crude on the international market. Take a listen to Fritz Moses, a research analyst at the IAS, who spoke earlier on the marketplace.
The market has not really reacted as negatively as we would expect. Demand hasn't fallen as much as we would expect. Only the IEA, that's the International Energy Agency, projecting that demand for oil may fall by some 100,000 barrels for this month, and projecting a similar fall of 100,000 barrels for next year. That is some of the outlook, or some of the outlook that we are looking at. But then again, you see also the fact that the imposed restrictions that many countries, US, Europe, and even some countries in Africa are being forced to undertake due to the Omicron variant will only affect the jet fuel industry, because travel in that sector may fall in the festive season getting into the next year. But then again, with high vaccination rates in many countries, Europe, in US, and even in Africa, we think that for road transport users who rely on petrol, diesel, gas, may not really be affected. The demand on that sector may not be affected, because majority of people are now venturing into the vaccination drive and getting vaccinated.
And that'll be it for business, but I will leave you with a summary of international business news, after which we have sports. Just stay with us.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the second part of the sports segment with me, Oreku Ampofo. Minority Leader of Parliament Haruna Idrisu says Ghana must qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. According to him, participating in the tournament will boost the country's economy, but he wants companies to be given tax rebates for sponsoring sporting activities.
Mr. Speaker, apart from AFCON, we have to prepare the Black Stars for Qatar. It is a must-go journey for the Black Stars. And I want to assure my colleague, the Honorable Mustafa, Member of Parliament, that the country will stand very, very united with the Black Stars to make Ghana proud. Mr. Speaker, secondly, he's raised a very significant issue. Thankfully, the Honorable Minister for Communications is here. She may hear us, but she has to work with other ministers, particularly the Minister for Trade and Industry. And Mr. Speaker, let me paraphrase from the minister's statement when he says that His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa invited corporate Ghana to a breakfast meeting in order to raise about $25 million to support the Black Stars by way of funding. Mr. Speaker, truth is, government alone cannot adequately fund the Black Stars. The worst of it is when you need money and you have to wait for an Honorable Minister of Finance whose response to any demand is no, there's no money, there's no budget, it's not available. At that time, the match is only 24, 48 hours away. When the players don't hear that you are carrying bonuses along and that you are carrying your empty bag with the promise that when they win and you get to Accra, you pay them bonuses, it has not been helpful, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, I'm coming back that I wholeheartedly support, and indeed it's my position, that corporate Ghana must finance soccer and football. And I think that a bill in that direction, corporate social responsibility bill, must emanate from the Minister for Trade and Industry, working in tandem with the Minister for Communication, so that corporate entities, I know the Honorable Arnaud Dampre has come on the floor of Parliament as a specialist on statements to raise the bar on corporate social responsibility and what we should direct it for. And I do agree with him that the corporate world must finance football, soccer, sports generally, but it will come with what you call tax rebates for them, for that particular service to the Republic of Ghana. But Mr. Speaker, in Ghana, we all enjoy corporate entities doing funeral donations and wedding donations. That is none of their business. They must focus on the real things, and the real things is for them to be able to support football.
Now, Ghanaian sprinter Benjamin Azamati has revealed he was nervous competing against renowned Jamaican sprinter Johan Blake at the 2020 Olympic Games in Japan. He has been speaking to my colleague George Addo Jr.
It was the biggest stage I've ever gone to, aside the World Championship. The World Championship was one that I didn't get the chance to run an individual race, but this time I'm there running an individual race. But as a person representing West Texas A&M, representing Ghana, being a Ghanaian record holder, it brings a lot of pressure, you understand? So getting there, I was nervous. To be honest with you, I was really, really nervous. And to talk about the second fastest human in the world being by you, that's something extra. So, and I don't have the experience just like them. And if you could hear the commentator, he was like, yeah, I've been doing really, really well in the college system, but I have been running all by myself. You understand? So I don't have the experience that these guys have. You get it? So at that moment, they beat me to it, like psychologically. Yes, this guy is nervous. So my times and their times, yes, I could have won that race. Yes, if I've run that good, I could have won. But the psychological part
game was big.
Yes,
I was just even thinking about your the build up to yours. I think in heat 5, you were in heat 7.
Yeah, heat 7.
Yeah, so heat 5. African gets disqualified.
Yes.
Age 6, African gets disqualified.
Understand.
At that point, you had to be very careful about your start.
I was watching in there. I was like, damn, another African country got out.
Yeah.
Another African country.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do?
And like
should I have to take time in the blocks? Like all those things play on my mind. So yeah, it was a big factor.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, but it was a great experience. I got to talk up to a few professional athletes, and it's nothing big. You just have to learn a few things from them and all that. I'm still in touch with them and they are helping me. So I think next year is going to come out good.
Well, it's currently 2-1 in favour of Liverpool in the ongoing midweek Premier League game. It's half-time in that game and the second half just resumed between Chelsea and Everton. It's currently 0-0 in that game as well. You can get updates of these games as well as many more sports stories on my Joy Online /sports or on our Twitter page @JoySportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and that's how we wrap up the sport here.
And that's how we wrap up Joy News Prime. I'm Araba Kumsi. Remember, you can get all our stories and many more on myjoyonline.com.